Hey, thanks, James. And hi, everybody. Hope you're enjoying New York. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Great. Thanks, Howard.
Really glad to be a part of this. What an exciting time for all of us in the frontier of bioelectronic medicine. And this conference and seminar is really an important part of sharing information and helping the whole movement to move forward. Thanks, James, and thanks to the entire Neurotech Report staff for putting this together.
Thank you.
So Lionheart Launchpad is our innovation accelerator. It's an arm of Lionheart Ventures. Lionheart Ventures has been in business since 1982. We've had a few hit products over the years. In the 1980s, we introduced the polycath cardiovascular balloon catheter, had a reasonable exit with that. In the 1990s, we developed the leading system for repairing aortic aneurysms without surgery. That has over $1 billion in annual revenues today and is the world leading system with greater than 50% of the market share for repairing aortic aneurysms without surgery. It's with Medtronic now. We also developed the first, one of the first percutaneous heart valves. That's also with Medtronic. In the year 2000, we published our first bioelectric paper in the journal Circulation of American Heart Association. That was for growing new blood vessels. At that same time, we had began our work with using stem cells to regenerate organs. And we took the prize of the very first stem cell repair of a human heart without surgery in May of 2001 in the Netherlands. That went on to be published in the Journal of American College of Cardiology. We went on to a phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 double-blinded randomized placebo-controlled study and took that company public in 2008. In 2008, I really wanted to focus on the emerging field of bioelectrics, what we're all here to talk about today. I really became a believer. I had time with Dr. Robert Becker, who we all know as the author of The Body Electric, and I really see him as one of the grandfathers of our field. It was such an honor to be able to collaborate with him before he passed away. And we were working together on using bioelectric stimulation to improve blood flow, particularly in legs, to avoid amputation. We went on to complete a clinical trial in Czech Republic where we saved 12 of 16 people that were on the list for having their leg or foot amputated. And we were kind of upset because we wanted to be 16 for 16. Since that time, we've been working to improve. And in 2008, we put together this accelerator to see if all the money and time that we had spent prior to that on regenerating limbs and regenerating hearts. And we had raised and spent $140 million up to that point. And we decided we'd create an accelerator to see if the things we learned in those two applications, if they would apply to other applications. So I want to get to Bostim, but here's a quick look at our heart and cardiovascular portfolio. It all began with heart regeneration, but we've added, we have a product for controlling blood pressure. We're in clinical trials in 2 locations with that, showing anywhere between 10 and 19 millimeters drop in blood pressure. We have a product to compete with our previous hit product, AortaCell. This time we want to regenerate people's aortas with a combination of bioelectrics and biologics instead of putting a piece of metal and fabric in like we did in the past. We're also working on regenerating heart valves. In the brain area, we have a very active portfolio. We began with Cerebrocell that has a product for combining bioelectrics and biologics for helping people with strokes to recover. We created a brand, not sure if the camera works here. Funny, I have in my hand here a brain band that we just developed and tested. You can see it here. You put it on your head and you stimulate, and we use this for a number of our platforms, including DepressiStim for treating depression, MemoryStim for increasing memory, TremorStim for treating essential tremors, AddictiStim for treating addiction. But the core of this work is working with Cerebrocell for stroke recovery. We do have clinical trials enrolling for DepressiStim in Brazil. We're about to begin enrolling patients for MemoryStim and AddictiStim and TremorStim as well. We created a major organ regeneration group, and out of that, we have completed one study restoring eye vision with microcurrent stimulation. This was published by Dr. Lori Shakin, a member of our founding team. We've also worked in the COVID area to help patients reduce their inflammation in their lungs during COVID. We also have the product OrthoStim for regenerating joints, such as knees and elbows. And this combines a number of different modalities. Our cosmetic and reproductive health area is perhaps closest to go to market. We have partnered with HTM Electronics. I just returned yesterday. I traveled yesterday 24 hours to get back from Brazil. They sold last year in Brazil alone 122,000 devices, most of them bioelectric, in the aesthetics area. They actually have 90% of their sales in aesthetics and 10% in physical therapy. And we are bringing new technology to them, and our technology is focused on controlling protein expressions. So we began with SDF1 and PDGF for stem cell homing. We added VEGF for growing blood vessels, and now we have over 30 different proteins that we can control by bioelectric stimulation, and have over 700 patent claims, either issued, pending, in process, or licensed or optioned. Many of those have already been issued, including a pioneering patent on bioelectric stimulation in combination with biologics. In the cosmetic area, we have stem cell bra. People kind of snicker about that, but we just finished our second clinical study in Spain. A third of the women had 1 cup increase of their breast size by just wearing the stem cell bra 1 hour every other day for 4 weeks. We had previously done 16 animals. We previously did a low dose safety study. And this was the first study where we increased the dosing to go for efficacy. And at least in a third of the patients, we got our desired results. The middle third had about a 10% increase in breast size, and the bottom third didn't have any increase. So like everything we do with research, we're trying to figure out, why did it work so well with a third of the patients, pretty good with another third, and didn't work at all with the final third. But again, the good news is safety. No safety concerns have been observed so far. We've completed in South Africa a hair regeneration study. We're now enrolling in Pennsylvania. We've completed a accelerated tooth movement study. So we use bioelectric stimulation to release wrinkle that loosens up your teeth and allows the aligners or braces to straighten teeth in 3 months instead of the average time of 24 months. After the teeth are straight, we change the signaling sequence, and we basically release OPG that freezes the bone under the teeth so that your teeth stay straight without having to wear a retainer. SkinStim and ErectiStim have enrolled over 200 patients in clinical trials. SkinStim is able to turn the switch back on for tropin elastin. Most of us lose the expression of elastin when we're in puberty. We've figured out how to turn it back on. We also have Col17A1. ErectiStim is our treatment for erectile dysfunction. Over 115 patients enrolled, and the short story is 90% of the patients treated no longer need Viagra. We just did our 1-year follow-up, and they're maintaining their results after only 4 weeks treatment 1 year later. Cancer Cell is a product that we never intended to get involved with, but now we have 12 issued patents on bioelectric treatment of cancer. I just visited Dr. Frederico Costa, who has enrolled 234 patients in a study in Brazil using electromagnetic signaling, not our patented signaling, but his own. And we compared notes, and now we're planning to do a clinical trial together. That brings me to Bostim, which James mentioned earlier. So Bostim is based around one of our key proteins, Klotho. If you type Klotho and anything in, Klotho and hypertension, Klotho inflammation, Klotho and aging, Klotho muscle. If you're low in Klotho, which we offer a test, by the way, called Klotho Years, klothoyears.com. If you're below normal, you're basically aging more prematurely than you should. And if you elevate Klotho, we believe we're going to be able to show that we can reverse some of the ailments that come with aging. Now, we, of course, have to prove that. But we have proven in human studies in a number of locations, both in the US and Brazil, that we can raise the Klotho level in a person about 150% by just wearing this suit about 45 minutes twice a week. And it's a suit that's easy to put on. It's kind of like a wetsuit or a yoga pants. It has the stimulator right here on the side. And we can program that for a number of signals, but most of the studies we've done so far has focused on Klotho. If you're low on Klotho, much higher chance of calcification of your arteries and heart valves. If you're low on Klotho, much higher chance of kidney failure. If you're low on Klotho, much higher chance of early onset dementia and Alzheimer's. If you're low on Klotho, much higher chance of cancer. In fact, the study recently came out showing if you're low on Klotho and go in the sun, you have almost a 10x higher chance to have skin damage than you're at normal higher levels. Also, things like depression and addiction. If you're low on Klotho, much higher chance to be depressed, much higher chance to be addicted to either alcohol or drugs. In fact, the study in Scandinavia showed a 10x higher chance to be an addict if you were low on Clotho than if you were at normal or high levels. So this suit is designed to elevate your Clotho. Just to give you a reference point, if you did aerobic exercise 3 times a week, vigorous aerobic exercise 3 times a week, which is a recommended healthy way to elevate your Clotho, you would only elevate your Clotho about 12%. By just wearing this 30 minutes to 1 hour twice a week, we can elevate your Clotho anywhere from 150% to 2,300%. We've done thousands of experiments in our laboratory. We've done many animal studies, and now we've enrolled over 30 human patients that have received the Clotho treatment. And we're showing about an average increase of 150% from baseline. I know we're short on time, so I'm going to just kind of skip through quick. We offer in a few different configurations. The one on the left is our most advanced model. The one in the middle is the one that I like, which is more comfortable and slimline. And then particularly for the ladies, we have basically a yoga pants that has built-in the Clotho stimulator and signals built into the yoga pants. We've teamed up with a group called Wingspro in Spain to make these suits for us. We just program the stimulators. We manufacture the stimulators both in Brazil and in Anaheim with partners, and we program our proprietary signals for increasing Clotho expression into those stimulators connected to the Bostim suit, which I'll show you in a moment where the electrodes are placed. Wingspro has FDA clearance for muscle enhancement as well as treating muscle atrophy. And one of our stimulators has 510K clearance for improving circulation, muscle atrophy, preventing thrombosis after surgery, joint pain, arthritis recovery. And we're able to go to market now with those indications of use. We have to walk that narrow line of not going beyond. We can't, say all the glorious claims about reversing aging, and we won't do that. But anybody can read themselves if your Clotho level is low or Clotho level is elevated, what it means. This is where the electrodes are placed. We have 2 different configurations. The one on the right is the one that's been used in most of the studies so far. Again, amongst the signals we have are signals that improve elasticity, including in skin and tendons, tighten up skin and take away wrinkles, stem cell homing. We can home stem cells to any one of those electrode points that we want just by releasing our signals that cause the expression of STF1 and PDGF. We can rebuild muscle, not only with Clotho, but also follistatin, IGF-1, and we're working on limb protein. And then, all these benefits of Clotho, which include possibly treating hypertension. Future benefits, we've sent into the patent office that we've been able to show that we can control the expression of serotonin. That is a protein that's produced both in the stomach and the brain that has a big effect on depression and your mood. We're working on ways to improve gut microbiota. We believe that all of us should be aware that if your gut is healthy, your immune system is going to be stronger and your mood is going to be better and you're less likely to have depression. So we're doing lots of experiments to try to understand how with electrical stimulation, we can influence the gut microbiota to be more healthy. We've already have patents issued and have documented our ability to manage inflammation. Our inflammation patent focuses on reading inflammation and then custom designing the anti-inflammatory cytokine expressions based on that custom read so that you have the right expression in the right dose at the right time in the inflammation cycle. We also have a number of patents for repairing damaged nerves. It's quite a challenge, but we have a sonic hedgehog, IGF-1, and we're working on limb muscle, all directed towards improving nerve connections. Clotho, by the way, is highly useful in suppressing tumor growth, at least in animals. Dozen different studies have been published showing that in all forms of cancer, low Clotho promotes cancer spread. Elevated Clotho seems to suppress tumor growth. Of course, we have to do more research to prove that out. We have a number of publications that we can point to. It's not in the time to go over them here. The 2 big ones are elastin production. We've been able to increase elasticity in your body by 17%. That is the highest that's ever been recorded in any paper ever. Again, all of us turn off our switch for producing elastin in puberty, and we just live with the elastin we have basically until we die. We figured out how to turn that back on. We were achieving only 7% until just recently we had a breakthrough to elevate from 7% to 17%. I'm not going to talk about the market. You can already imagine it's a very large market for anti-aging and muscle recovery. we have a separate organization called Lionheart Health that's going to bring all of these products to market, including Bostim. It's designed to be kind of like a Get Roman, where it'll be an online site with heavy marketing and advertising that will drive people to buy products that will be shipped to their house. And then separately, we have Lionheart Health, physician sales and service. And we're hiring salespeople now in Florida, New York, Nashville, Dallas, Minneapolis, Salt Lake City, and Southern California to begin with. This is a picture of our founding team. We actually have about 200 some members working on this project every day, but wanted to put some of those that are most active on the slides here. And again, this is coming out of our Innovation Accelerator and Startup Launch Accelerator. The way we work for investment is you invest in the accelerator, and the accelerator has between 9 and 20% interest in all the startups in the accelerator, and you get a 2-for-1 warrant that if you invested $100,000, you also get a free of charge warrant to acquire $100,000 of shares, ownership shares in any of the startups you choose. And you don't have to choose right away. You can sit on the warrant and wait to see, how that pressure stim clinical trial goes. What of those startups has the most acquisition interest? Which of them has gotten the furthest with the FDA? And then allocate your warrant when you feel more comfortable that data, patents, and acquisition interest supports that. That's it.
Okay, thanks very much, Howard.